see nothing wrong with the word nigger.
The only nigger in the woodpile at the moment...
I'll use the word nigger when I see it's appropriate.
Is indeed the only nigger in the woodpile.
What's more, I'll use the word boom, coon, lazy black bastard, thieving black bastard, bludging black bastard, or any other word.
I went to the ground in the winter of 1999, sat with our family on a small hill, and then as the game started, the announcer called the first try to the right of us. He said that try was scored at the Nigger Brown stand end of the ground. Straight away, when he said the word nigger, I looked up to the right, and there on top of the grandstand, the apex of the grandstand, was a sign, the ES Nigger Grandstand.
I can remember the first time I was actually called a nigger, and actually I didn't even know what it was. I was probably about 7 or 8 years of age, and my godfather took me to the Los Angeles Dodgers baseball game, you know, 40,000 people. I was excited, and somebody hit a home run. I was laughing. I turned to my left, and there was a white guy sitting there, and he was standing up giving everybody high fives. So I gave him a high five, and he looked at my godfather, and he just said, "That nigger of yours just hit me." And I looked at my godfather, and I was like, "What's a nigger?"
I was playing doubles with my coach's daughter, Patricia Edwards, against two older ladies, and we were beating them quite easily. When it was time to sort of come up to the net and shake hands, one of the ladies just looked me straight in the eye, grabbed my hand and said, "This is the first time I've had the pleasure of playing against a nigger." I was absolutely stunned. I can't believe that she just said that. And finally I just broke down, and I just, bawled my eyes out, and she said it to really hurt me, and she did.
If that word is still on that sign by the time our children become adults, I would think and hope that they would continue this campaign, because they're going to be fighters as well.
Come, stargazers and moonrakers, come all things golden that gleam. Bring your swords and glass slippers, for the world is not what it seems. Come, frog princes and ugly ducklings, come all you riders of moonbeams, on a journey for would-be heroes, and all you weavers of dreams.
Feces and anything associated with it is not something that people normally talk about. Some of these patients that may present with symptoms have deliberately not been able to discuss them with their doctors. It's not something that we're taught to be or to feel comfortable about discussing. There's a taboo associated with discussing anything about faeces.
Very rarely I get called to see patients who, for some inadvertent reason they always tell me, have a foreign body somehow lodged in their rectum. And often have a lot of different stories why that occurs, but it often can be a very serious condition and it's very difficult to get those foreign bodies out. And that can range from vibrators that have stopped mostly by the time they come and see me, to different types of bottles, and even animals itself, small animals that we have to remove. Often I can remove them through an endoscope, but occasionally I need the surgeon's help to remove them with a big operation.
If something goes wrong with your heart, you might just die, but if something goes wrong with your backside, you wish you were dead.
Well, a lot of my friends now know that I work at a sewage treatment plant, so it's sort of like a normal pun. Have a shit of a day, did you? Oh no, it wasn't too bad today, it didn't smell so bad.
When I first started here, I used to lie, tell people that I just worked for the council, never tell them that I worked in sewage. Now, it doesn't particularly bother me. All my friends know where I work and they rag me about it heaps. Friday night on the piss, they're gonna... Did you get that big message I sent down to you on Saturday morning, Sean?
It doesn't really worry me either. It's more, you know, whether I just feel like explaining to them or not. I don't really feel embarrassed about it.
Yeah, I think I'm much the same. It can get embarrassing if you're maybe chatting up someone at a pub and they want to know what you're doing.
I don't have that problem.
No, well, I don't have that problem now anymore.
This played on my mind for a long time is he actually found parts of a baby here one time. And just to prove we get all sorts of things through, the police were involved into a murder investigation.
I think probably the worst for me was having a knife gate valve blow out on one of our tanks with about 10 metres of head and having a 15-foot geyser of shit going into the air and Greggy and myself having to don breathing apparatus and face masks and wade on in and spend the next fucking half an hour underneath a waterfall of shit trying to repair this valve with the other 30 blokes that work on site standing 50 feet away yelling quite ridiculous comments to us. Wasn't much fun.
It was basically, I was covered in shit and basically it all washed off. The bad thing about it was about 2 or 3 weeks afterwards I could still smell the stench on my hands. When you go to eat a sandwich, that sort of turned you off a little bit.
Greggy was shit man and I was bobbing. We were bobbing around in the shit.
are at last, the new Suncorp Stadium, a place where modern gladiatorial contests between sporting giants will be waged. But it hasn't always been this way. Suncorp Stadium has a long, varied and often bizarre history, even before the first football was ever kicked here.
Where I came from in Roma out west, we sort of really only got the state of origins through the year, and I mean those games were played at Lane Park, and Wally Lewis was someone that I followed closely when I was a kid, and he was known as the Emperor of Lane Park, so it was sort of a place that you know, you just wanted to get close to.
I was 12-year-old. I made the North Queensland under-12 primary school team, and they invited us there to watch a game between Australia and New Zealand, and they sat us down the front there because obviously there wasn't enough room in the grandstands. And that was the day Greg Dowling and that Tammany got in a fight, and it was right beside us. So my first experience at Lang Park was an all-in brawl sort of thing.
Sitting in my lounge room in Queanbeyan with Mum and Dad watching the Origin and watching Queensland win most of the time, that's where the hatred, I guess, grew for Queensland as far as I was concerned, but that certainly changed when I came to Brisbane.
Underneath the post for Queensland.
And they've done it. East have won the grand final.
Hundreds of Queensland's best players, donned in their club colours, ran the Lang Park field before crowds of up to 45,000 fans. And there are as many memories as players who ran onto that ground week after week, year after year.
You walk out through the tunnel, there's concrete, and then there's probably 20 wooden slats you walk over, and as your tags and studs hit them, and there's this great sound, and then you're onto the turf. And whenever I hit those wooden slats, you know, especially in the Origin days, there was time the crowd would go up because they'd see the Queensland team coming out, and the hairs on the back of your neck would go up, and you'd finally get out on the turf, and it was just a fantastic feeling. But I really remember those wooden slats walking over there. Very noisy.